the amount of money invested in a company, investors will receive a specified number of shares. Some investors invest in share market to build wealth in the long run, while some investors view share market as short and risky investment. Even though share can be volatile, but it can help investors make quick profit in a short period of time. Investors must have appropriate knowledge before investing in the share market to maximize profit, as knowledge is the most significant factor that influences investors' performance in the market participation. Investors will gain knowledge that will aid their trading decisions, risk-taking behavior, and performance by recognizing the advantages and disadvantages of investing in share market. Moreover, the objective of this research is to provide comprehensive information regarding investment environment as well as the insights of risk and hazard that investors may encounter when investing in share market. At the end of this presentation, we would learn how investors can make rational investment decisions after recognizing the advantages and disadvantages of investing in share market.
Before an investor starts investing, they should know some basic knowledge on the nature of investments in share markets. No matter what type of investments they want to start with, it is essential for them to gain some information from trusted sources, be it online or offline. Generally speaking, people recognize investment as one of the ways to gain profits and bear the risk of losing. However, it requires more than that for someone to master on how investment actually works inside and out. Let's discuss about the basic features in investments in share markets. There are 4 of them, which are return, risk, safety, and also liquidity. For the first one is return. Return is summed from yield plus capital appreciation, where the capital appreciation is the total amount after subtract the purchase price from the sale price. It cannot be guaranteed that the return will keep being the same, as it involves the changes in many factors such as companies' financial well-being and also the price of shares in the markets. For the second basic feature is risk. In share markets, the investors should have known that the value of an investment does fluctuate over time, and this explains why the investors shall evaluate the possible risk and make a decision based on it. The next one is safety. Mostly, investors do need to be assured about their capital safety, which brings to the concern of the security of the investment, whether it is too risky or is exposed to too much of hazards. The final one is the liquidity of an investment. Investors who aim to get easy cash through their investment, they would choose an easily marketable type of investment, as they may want to sell the shares whenever they intend to, or especially at the peak of time. Nevertheless, it is important to emphasize the math of how investment usually works, which is high liquidity may result to lower return.
Currently, we are facing with the emergence of a tiny COVID-19 virus, but had a big impact on all human beings physically and mentally. The virus had a bad impact on the Malaysian share market in its early phases, particularly in the sectors of airline, hotels, transportation, and tourism. But after more than a year in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, we can see a positive signs of recovery, especially on the third quarter of 2021. The FBM-KLCI has increased 2.2% in net investment. The unit trust segment's net asset value had climbed by 3.5%. The amount accounted for over 30% of Bursa Malaysia's total market capitalization. However, the emergence of a new variant, which is Omicron, has shocked the world. The benchmark of FBM-KLCI slid, and also Malaysia's share market loss of 40 billion ringgit. As a result, the fears have caused the share market and energy prices to slump, having a negative effect on the global economic recovery.
Next, for methodology. According to the facts, research methodology is the specific procedures or techniques used to identify, select, process, and analyze information about a topic. In this presentation, in order to acknowledge the pros and cons of investment in share market, We chose qualitative research method by breaking the components into two, which is the data collection method and also data analysis method. From the existing data, we can summarize the information to increase the overall effective of research. For example, we divide the task for each person based on certain parts that have been determined and agreed by all where the information should be relevant to the objectives of our presentation. After all, there are many pros and cons about the investment in share market, and it will simplify our searching work. Our research is critically aims at gathering bits information received from pros and cons related to the investment of share market in our Islamic society. As we know, data analysis is very important to differentiate the method qualitative and quantitative research. For this report, we analyze all the information that we have been collected and arrange the data based on its categories. Then we will get a clear explanation about the objective of the report.
Next, I will continue our presentation about the pros of investing in the share market. At first, people can get financial sustainability that we have found that investing in the share market can help people to get benefits in the long term. Even though it was quite risky, but the return is very helpful to people who study the financial market. Furthermore, the more you invest in the share market, the easier way you can access your money. Some investments, such as real estate, do not allow you to remove some or all of your value instantly or in a short period, but investing in the share market is more easy to convert into cash. Hence, investment in the share market help people to sustain their financial either long or short term. Second is lifestyle mode changes. Most of the people who invest in the share market do not have peace of mind because of the risky plan that they had gone through. Most of the time of an investor is busy researching and collecting data about the share market make their lifestyle mode changes. They spend more time reading, scanning and analyzing the data related to stock. Furthermore, their way of working is more relaxed and independent if the investor is focused on the field of investment. Lastly, the stock was easy to sell because of price volatility. As an investor, you can sell your stock in the stock market at any moment. The term liquid is used by economists to describe the capacity to switch your shares into cash rapidly and with low-cost transactions. That's important if you suddenly need your money. Since prices are volatile, you run the risk of being forced to take a loss.
Okay, now let's talk about the cons of investing in share market. Before you invest your hard-earned money in the share market, you should be aware of the pros and cons of doing so. Typically, investors like to avoid uncertainty and become panic when faced with it. This panic generates errors, which in a volatile market may easily result to losses. Also, keep in mind that being an investor does not preclude you from being a trader. Okay, the first point is the lack of information. Investors may have a limited understanding of how markets function, what drives stocks value, and how to invest successfully. Many investors exaggerate their ability to outperform the market, causing them to take excessive risks. As a new investor, your lack of experience may be viewed as a danger at first. The second point is the emotion effect. It argues that the herd effect in the stock market is influenced by investor emotional intensity, where the higher the emotions, the bigger the herd impact. Variations in commodity market price and inflation rates can be influenced by investor attitude, while changes in commodity price levels can reflect the impact of market sentiments and domestic inflation levels. Okay, to add the last point, buying and holding takes a lot of time. Just because you have owned an asset for 10 years does not mean you are entitled to a hefty payout for your work and money. You will need to learn how to interpret financial statements and annual reports, as well as keep up with news about your company. So, Return to the table of top to show the power of compounded growth in time. One of the origins of the herd effect is that investor emotion spreads through the market network and other communication channels among investors. It demonstrates how the amount and tone of media reports affect investor mood, as well as how the link between media and investors cause attention to fluctuate and the herd effect.
It is extremely important for investors to take some time to learn about the basics of the share market as well as the numerous securities that make up the market before making any investment. It is also evident in the findings that risk exposure is one of the most significant disadvantages of share market investments as there are numerous risks involved. Hence, having adequate knowledge is very crucial if we are to avoid the biggest drawback of share market investment. For example, beginner investors should get professional advice from the share market expert before making any crucial investment decision. To conclude, when properly understood, the share market investment can help us gain a large amount of profit, but it can also potentially make us suffer a significant loss if we are too tempted to invest without properly understanding the principles of the market.